What is going on, everybody? James Hancock here. I'm back to review the mid-season finale of Season 6 of Better Call Saul. And all I can say is, holy shit, that was fucking amazing. I mean, with this show, we're used to superlative writing and extraordinary acting with characters that we love and, beautiful neo-noir photography and a perfect mix of crime and humor. We're used to storytelling excellence on a regular basis. But every once in a while, the show goes above and beyond and gives us something truly classic, like episode 3 of this season with Nacho. That's a strong contender for one of the best episodes we've ever seen. But I think my favorite episode of this season was episode 7, Plan and Execution, written and directed by Thomas Schnauz. Because I think very rarely do we feel such an incredible whiplash of emotions where we're watching D-Day and this scam come to fruition, and it's so delightful and it's so funny and it's so perfectly constructed and there's so much tension and excitement, and then to pull a total 180 and give us this like scene with the boogeyman at the end with Lalo just gunning down Howard. And sorry, yes, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the episode yet, maybe you should go do so now that I've let the cat out of the bag. But if you're watching a mid-season finale reaction and review, chances are you've been following the show as well. But anyway, can't take that one back, and I'm not re-recording this. I've already had to re-record this once because I started recording my review with the microphone not plugged in. I felt very intelligent. But what's incredible now is looking at this story drawing to a close after being in our lives since January of 2008. And that's when Breaking Bad first got started. I mean, it's almost a third of my life that we've been watching stories set in this world. That's as long as the MCU and probably, way more content in terms of total hours. But I think we can all safely say, we've all been saying it for years, that this is one of the great storytelling experiences of the 21st century. Whether you like fiction or cinema or video games or whatever, obviously TV has had its day in the sun in the 21st century. And obviously this world is one of the shining examples of all that. So let's just take it all step by step. And also for people who don't know, not to worry, that was not the end of the season. It's taking a little break and it's going to come back with 6 more episodes starting July 11th. And I looked it up on Wikipedia and it's already been announced that Vince Gilligan directed episode 12 and Peter Gould will be directing episode 13, which I think is totally appropriate. So how do we start by breaking this down? On one hand, it's just incredible seeing all these storylines and all these characters paying off such massive dividends after being so invested in them for so many years at this point. It creates a weird mix of sadness and excitement because on one hand, it's a very rare pleasure when you see a story coming to fruition like this. But on the other hand, we know that we're just counting down like 6 episodes to go, so on and so forth. And we're going to miss Nacho. We're going to miss Howard. And we're going to miss watching kind of the innocent days of Kim and Jimmy because I have a feeling it's only going to get dark from here on out, no matter what that little, final 30 seconds might have teased where in that great kind of black and white flash forward period, Jimmy teased that this is all going to have a happy ending. I think he was being probably ironic. But let's just start with Lalo. Lalo is one of the great villains of the last couple of years, and he's just so damn charismatic and so chilling. And Tony Dalton, just with every line of dialogue, he just seems to deliver each line of dialogue with so much pleasure, and he's got great body language. He moves really well. And I love how the episode opens with him emerging from this manhole. We're like, oh shit. He's back on the scene, and we see how he's got this whole routine down where he's like grabbing an hour of sleep and going to convenience stores, etc., and he's spying on Gus's whole operation. So we know that something is going to go down. But then the episode shifts gears for a good long while as we see the full D-Day plan coming together, and it almost kind of makes you forget that you're watching this incredible Mexican cartel crime saga because we see how, admittedly, in the last episode, it's like, what is all this crap with Judge Casimiro? And do we really care about all this? And the answer is yes, because it was so satisfying seeing him being brought in as the third-party mediator between HHM and Sandpiper. And we finally see the method to the madness of Kim and Jimmy. And we see why Kim was so excited to basically put her career on hold to come back and supervise the shooting of these fake photographs. And it was great seeing Rhea Seehorn in that mode because for people who don't know, she directed episode 4 of this season. And during the shoot within the show, we see her in director mode, so we get a little taste of what she might have been like on the set directing episode 4. And yeah, I hope she keeps directing. She's fucking good at it. But man, when Howard sees the mediator and the drugs start kicking in and his people started getting dilated and he felt like he was holding all aces and he starts accusing him of accepting bribes and it all goes to hell. I like evil humor. I like dark humor. And I was just cackling like a hyena, having so much damn fun. And then when you're seeing how it all falls to pieces on him, and what's hysterical is how he figures it out almost immediately. Howard's very bright. He immediately knows, oh my God, like I got totally played. Jimmy won. This is all Jimmy's doing. But it doesn't matter. They have to settle. His career is not in ruins, but has been damaged by this embarrassment. And then the best part of all, I'm smiling like a psychopath even remembering it, but seeing the cutaway to Kim and Jimmy in the background out of focus and hearing them just getting it on as they continue to listen to the conference call. It's like, this is what sex must be like for lawyers after they have a big case. I've never worked in the legal profession, but I imagine there's got to be this incredible thrill of victory after winning a big case, or in the case of Jimmy and Kim, running a huge successful scam. But it was just so hot. I would never really say that this show is like super like sexy, in spite of the fact that Ray Seahorn is obviously a very, very attractive woman. But that was one of the few moments in the show where we're like, woo, like they are like really going for it. And you really see what drives them, what really gets their juices flowing. And I thought it was one of the great high watermarks of the whole season. But then we switch back to Lalo, and it's the Lalo show for pretty much the rest of the episode, where he tries reporting some of his findings about the laundromat to Hector Salamanca. He immediately realizes that the line is being kind of listened in on, so he calls back and pretends as if he hasn't figured anything out. He basically feeds a bunch of false information that's being recorded. Mike immediately turns it over to Gus, so they think, oh, well, Lalo's coming after Gus with all of his guys. Let's circle the wagons around Gus's home and just get ready. And obviously, that's not what his plan is at all. But watching Lalo go head-to-head with Gus is so satisfying. I love how he's willing to concede the cleverness of his adversary. He's like, he's freaking out and smashing that chair against the wall, and how he's recognizing the work of the chicken man, as he calls him. And then we cut to Jimmy and Kim's home, where they're watching Born Yesterday. And for people out there who are not into old movies, just let me pause for a second and just give you a heads up about Born Yesterday. But it stars Judy Holliday, William Holden, and Broderick Crawford, and it's directed by the great George Cukor. That movie is so damn entertaining. It gets my highest possible recommendation. And I love how this show is always kind of sprinkling in little movie references, like even Kim at one point making a reference to James Cagney in a previous season. You can tell the writers of the show love their old movies, but George Cukor, he did like The Philadelphia Story and Holiday and so many incredible movies, but Born Yesterday is one of his really good ones. So if you love really witty, charming dialogue and a delirious comedic performance by an actress like Judy Holliday, then definitely check out Born Yesterday. But that's just icing on the cake for what is otherwise a very chilling scene. And it begins with a great pump fake. We see the candle. Oh shit, Lalo's here. But as it turns out, just Howard, and he's hammered, and he's accusing them of being soulless, which is kind of fair. I mean, he's not entirely in the wrong. And then he really starts just getting nasty, seeing how Chuck always knew it. And then he looks at Kim, and he's like, he's always felt like she had all the brains and all the talent in the world to accomplish anything, but he calls her out on how a piece of her is missing. And obviously, I wouldn't say a piece of her is missing, but there's a part of her that really responds to the thrill of a great scam, a great crime. And she's not like a murdering sociopath like Lalo, but there is a part of her that likes to live on the edge, and she gets off on it. And then we see the candle flicker a second time. It's so beautifully done. And in steps Lalo, and it's like, oh shit, like Mike Myers is here, like the boogeyman is here. And Howard still thinks he has the upper hand with the scene. He's trying to maintain control, and Jimmy and Kim are just terrified and telling him to leave. And before you know it, boom, he gets blown away, and the episode is over. And I was floored. This was an episode that just knocked me flat. And I shouldn't be surprised that it knocked me flat, because this show has knocked me flat on so many occasions in the past. And is it heresy at this point to admit when we like Better Call Saul more than Breaking Bad? Because Breaking Bad, I loved it, and it's got so many great episodes. And maybe it's just because Better Call Saul is still ongoing, but I just love the character of Jimmy. I love the character of Kim. There's just a more kind of devilish, mischievous quality to this that I respond to just in terms of my personal tastes. So bravo to Thomas Schnauz for writing and directing an incredible episode. And I can't fucking wait to see what is coming our way with the final 6 episodes starting July 11th. So sorry if for people out there who love this show, who were expecting me to follow each and every single episode throughout the season. I had a bunch of conflicts early on where I was off in Ireland working on a documentary about movies set in Ireland, and then I was behind on the show, and then I didn't really get even fully caught up until recently. And so I just had a big binge session a couple days ago, and I'm almost kind of glad I did that way because I got to just enjoy so many episodes in a row, which is, it makes it so much more enjoyable when you just get to just completely immerse yourself in this world. But I hope I've showered enough praise on this particular episode to make up for my lack of love and affection for the previous ones. But I'll definitely be back on July 11th to review what is coming our way next. So hope you enjoyed this review. If so, please remember to subscribe, like, hit the notification bell. And if you want to talk more, hunt me down on Twitter at Geeking Out or my podcast, Wrong Reel. And can't thank you enough for listening. But more importantly, as always, onwards and upwards.